Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to explore a beautifully simple classroom story that just perfectly captures the profound power of empathy. We're going to break down how an everyday situation, the kind that happens all the time in cafeterias, office break rooms, or really any community space, can teach us so much about the true mechanics of human connection.
So, let me ask you, have you ever noticed someone sitting all alone, clearly in need of a little help? Just take a second and think about your own life. We've all been there, right? You're in a crowded room and you spot someone just kind of hovering on the periphery. Maybe they look a bit lost, a little down, or just completely isolated from the rest of the group. Honestly, it's a pretty universal human experience to witness someone else struggling like that. But the real question, and honestly the whole focus of our explainer today, is how we choose to respond when we find ourselves in that exact moment. Section 1, the lost lunchbox. This is where we identify our problem.
Right, so our scenario kicks off with a student named Sarah. She's sitting completely alone during lunch, looking pretty sad, and there's no lunchbox in sight. Now, if you've ever forgotten your lunch, you absolutely know that sheer sinking panic, right? In a bustling, super social environment like a school cafeteria, being without food and separated from your friends is, well, it's a massive stressor. She's physically separated from her classmates, and emotionally, she is visibly upset. This is exactly that moment of observation we were just talking about, and it's exactly what her classmate, Ollie, happens to notice.
Which brings us to Section 2, sharing the meal. Let's look at this act of kindness.
Now, what's really interesting here is the incredible vulnerability that Sarah shows, because Ali doesn't just walk past her. Instead, he actively walks right over and asks, "Hey, are you okay?" And because he opens that door, Sarah quietly replies, "I forgot my lunch at home and I feel embarrassed." See, she isn't just hungry. The source material explicitly highlights her emotional state, embarrassment. She feels totally exposed, completely out of place. This right here is a critical juncture because the problem has just been spoken out loud. And just look at how Ollie responds. He says, "Don't worry, we can share mine." The source notes something really important here. Instead of just ignoring her, which, let's be honest, is often the easiest kind of default path for a lot of people when confronted with someone else's awkward or painful feelings, Ollie actually smiled. He offered immediate, action-oriented kindness. He didn't just stand there and offer sympathy. He provided a tangible, real-world solution to both her hunger and her isolation. With that one simple invitation to share, he literally melted away her embarrassment. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer transformative power of that intervention. Think about the before. Sarah was sad, sitting all by herself, feeling super embarrassed. But the after? They spent the rest of the break sharing a meal, talking and laughing together. Sarah felt so much happier. But the source text notes something equally awesome about this after state. Ali felt really glad he had helped too. The benefit of this shared meal wasn't just a one-way street. It actually elevated both of their experiences. The isolation was completely broken, and a real connection was forged. That leads us straight into Section 3, Understanding Empathy, which gets into the moral of the story. Later on, the teacher actually praised Ollie in front of the whole class, and in doing so, offered this perfect definition for his actions. Empathy means understanding how someone else feels and being kind enough to help them. I just love how the source material breaks this down into basically a two-step equation. Step 1 is the cognitive and emotional awareness, right? Actually understanding the sadness and the embarrassment. But step 2, and this is the kicker, is the action. It's being kind enough to step in and do something about it. Empathy isn't just a feeling inside your head. According to this text, it is an action. So the crucial point and lasting lesson the students took away from that day is wonderfully simple. Care about others' feelings, step up to help them when they need it, and always remember that a small act of kindness makes a massive difference. Something as simple as splitting a sandwich, or honestly, even just offering a smile, makes a tremendous impact on someone's life. Ali didn't have to move mountains to totally change Sarah's day. He literally just had to share what he already had. So I'll leave you with this. How can a small act of kindness make a big difference today? Take a look around your own environment. Who's sitting alone without their proverbial lunchbox? Who could use a smile, a quick check-in, or maybe a shared resource? Empathy is a muscle. It's a skill we can practice every single day. And as we've seen from our source material today, the results are immediate and they're incredibly uplifting for everyone involved. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this concept today. Keep this question bouncing around in your head as you go about your week, and I'll catch you in our next explainer.